failure is not that we don't achieve what we're looking for. Failure is we give up. We give up hope. We give up enthusiasm. Because with a spiritual dimension in life, it's all about our purpose. It's all about our ideal. It is said that God doesn't see what you do, he sees the intention. And Bhagavad Gita explains, don't worry about success or failure, or victory or defeat. Just do your dharma with faith, enthusiasm, and love. And that in and of itself is the ultimate victory. So yes, courage and all these other virtues are given by the power of grace if we just sincerely have a good ideal and don't give up. That's kind of the story of the journey home. Does that answer your question? Is there any other question? Yes. We'll do her first.
I want to say thank you so much. You have no idea how deep that is. It's gone like, it's life-changing. I really appreciate that.
You don't know how deeply I'm touched by what you just said.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't have any religion, but I really believe in something very deeply. I believe in that, like, human being or I have deeply connection with the natural world and the whole universe. It's like, I believe in pure motivation. If you just want to do it and it's not for, like, outside thing, just because you want it and pay for it, work hard on it. That's my belief. So do you think, I mean, is that a kind of thing, or, I don't know, it kind of bothers me because I don't have religion, so sometimes I question myself, would it be like not faithful, or things like that.
You're a beautiful person, and you're trying to do good, and that's beautiful. But at the same time, you know, we believe that there is something very divine and something eternal that is the source of that will to be good that is within us. And to tap into that, we can just do so much more good for the world. Thank you. And you had a question. Is there any time we should end? Because what time is it? Okay, whoever's organizing, what shall I do? Shall I end or keep going, or? Sure, definitely. So we'll do chanting now. Okay, thank you so much. I want to thank all of you so much for being such a kind audience. And Dean Elmore, thank you so much for spending all this time with us. And for your beautiful lesson. And thank you. What is the name of your club again?
Boston University Holistic Yoga Club.
My sincerest gratitude to the Boston University Holistic Yoga Club. Thank you very much. Would you like to chant, Gaurvani ji?
Maybe you
I'll chant a little and then you chant. Because Gaurvani, can I tell you something about Gaurvani? He's heard this many times. His mother is from the same village that I grew up in. She's the only other person in the world in our that's following my tradition that's from that same village. And a few years ago, he came to India, and there was a festival. How many people were there that year? There was about between 3,000 and 4,000 people for a 4-day festival, and he was singing these beautiful kirtans, beautiful chanting, and he mesmerized everyone. He was chanting for hours and hours, and people were meditating, and people were dancing, and people were weeping. They were just so happy. And at the end of the festival, there was just, the organizers were thanking people, and I was thanking everyone. And I asked if anyone wanted to say anything. And Gaurvani stood up in front of almost 4,000 people. And he talked about how he was born in this bhakti yoga culture. But at a certain point in his teenage years, he went astray. But he said his mother prayed for him. And he became very emotional. And he said, whatever I've done for you, it is on the strength of my mother's prayers. And he looked out into the audience and said, never, ever take, what was your words exactly? He said, never underestimate a mother's prayers. And he had 8,000 eyes with tears in them. And they clapped. This is Gaurvani. And this is a very, very great spiritual attribute. Because the ego, we want to take credit for what we do materially, and we can even fall in that trap in spiritual life. I'm a great yogi, or I'm a great devotee. And we can become arrogant about being spiritual. But real spirituality, it's a universal principle. The meek shall inherit the earth. Our greatness, when we don't see it as ours, but we see it the grace of God and the grace of other people, then our greatness, then we can actually be instruments of that grace, when the ego's not in the way. So yes, he's one of the most tremendous musicians and one of the most devotional singers, but he takes no credit. He gives all credit to everyone else. And he loves to do that. And that is it's a spiritual virtue that we can actually find thousands of times more fulfillment giving credit to someone else than taking it ourselves. And when I told his mother about this, she became quite emotional. And she said, no, it has nothing to do with me, it's him. It's a family of saints. So now we'll have some chanting.